Alright guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do something that I've been aiming to do for several months now, and that's fix this Osage bow. Last year I was tuning it, getting it ready for elk season, and in order to try to get my arrows flying right, I was raising my brace height, and I raised it a little too high, and I raised this pretty good splinter here on the back, but I think I can fix it. Um, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little sandpaper and sand this finish off. I've already sanded it a little bit. I tried to do this um, a while back, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't sand the finish off, and I can tell you that I use a true oil finish, and glue does not stick very well to true oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little sponge sandpaper, I believe it's like 220 grit, and I'm going to sand the finish off, and then once I get the finish sanded off, I'm going to, I don't know if you can see this splinter here, but it's a pretty good splinter. Once I get the finish sanded off, I'm going to take some super glue and I'm going to saturate this with as much super glue as I can get down in there. And then once that's dry, I've prepared some sinew off of a deer, and I'm going to take some Titebond 3 wood glue and put across the top, and I'm going to glue that sinew, and then I will wrap that with serving. So stay tuned and we'll see how it goes. Now all I'm trying to do here is just to get my finish off so my glue sticks, because like I said before, the last time I tried this, the Titebond 3 did not hold very well to this true oil finish. So I'm just roughing up the area and just trying to get that finish off the limb. Now that I've got it sanded off and cleaned up a little bit, I'm going to saturate this with super glue and try to get as much work down in there as possible. Alright, so now while we're waiting on that to dry, I'm going to go in and I'm going to put my sinew in the bowl of water and let it start to soften up. Okay, so now that my super glue's dry over my crack, I'm going to start applying my sinew. And what I'm first what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of Titebond 3 over the area. And I'll smear this out with my finger, and I'll let this tack up before I apply the sinew. And while that's drying, I'm going to get some bundles of sinew out. I'm going to kind of squeegee the water out of it so it's not as wet and it won't take as long to dry. I've not worked a whole lot with sinew, but I think this will work. Now just kind of lay that on top there. keep it lined up. And I'm gonna pat this dry. And I'm gonna put another coat of Tight Bond 3 on it. So what I'm getting ready to do is I've got my serving material here. I'm going to, while this is still wet, I'm going to flip the bow over and I'm going to start wrapping that up. And that'll help hold all that sinew down and also make it a little more durable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a little bit of serving. And I'll start to wrap this down the limb. I'm basically just wrapping it just like I would if you make a bowstring. I'll lay this tail underneath it, wrap it several times. Alright, so I've got that all wrapped up. I'm going to take these ends, cinch them, and then I'll cut them off. And then I will rub some more Tight Bond 3 over top of everything. And that should waterproof it once it dries. there you have it. So I sanded it down. I put some super glue in the crack, let that cure up. Then I put some Titebond 3 down along with some sinew. I laid it lengthwise with the limb, and I wrapped everything with some nylon serving, and then I sealed it all up with another coat of Titebond 3, which is waterproof. And whenever that cures, it should be a nice tight waterproof seal. I'll give you a update of what it looks like in the morning when it dries. Okay, it's the next morning and this glue is dried from most of the way. That's what the patch looks like. I need to sand it down, refinish it yet. I am going to let this dry for quite a while, probably at least 2 weeks. That sinew underneath there, it takes a while for it to dry. I want to make sure that it's good and dry. But once I get all refinished and I'm confident that it's dry, I'll put out a video of me shooting this bow and let you know how it fared. Thanks for watching and good luck to you this fall. We'll see you next time on Perry Freeze Outdoors.